Well, it's that time of year again when the country's elite footballing talent goes head-to-head on the national stage in the NAB AFL Under-18 Championships. Hi, I'm Jason Phelan from AFL.com. I'm joined by Kevin Sheehan, the National Talent Manager, and Mick Ablett, the Academy's Development Manager. Gents, what did you think of the first round?
Well, what a fascinating opening round. Loved it. 4 games played. 2 were probably boilovers, absolute shocks to us. One was the 2-pointer, a real tight one. Then we had a shellacking to top it off over there in Hobart. So this is the round where we had the divisions play each other. So first division were challenged by second division. We have 2 rounds of that before you play in your division. So a fascinating opener to the championships.
And Shifter, you took a look at the first round, the first match?
Yeah, the opening game was, well, one of the big shocks, one of the boilovers. It was up at Rio Stadium there in the Northern Territory, and the NT took all before them. They jumped the Vic Metro side. They got away to a lead at half-time by 20 points. They were 28 points in front at three-quarter time. But as you would expect, the Vics came at them. We had a wonderful challenge late in the game. They got within 6 points, but some inspirational play from the NT. They kicked back to win by 18 in what was an historic moment for NT footy.
And I hear the Rioli boys, they played a starring role.
Yeah, the cousins actually. Ben Rioli wearing the number 33 jumper and Willie, number 34, were inspirational for their side. They won so much of the footy. Ben playing down back, Willie through the midfield and setting play up. And they had some great support. I love the work of Anthony Tippenwatty, number 14. They call him Waller. Some of his runs through the midfield were superb for his side. Also, a guy by the name of Dom Barry was the real eye-catcher, I reckon. The number 6, the left footer. A little bit of Michael Long about this guy, the way he stepped through the traffic and used the ball so brilliantly. He's a guy from Alice Springs, and he also goes to St Pat's in Ballarat. So I've seen a little bit of him in the TAC Cup. So he's the one that really jumped out. He had 20 disposals and 9 marks, and this classy lefty is one to watch right throughout the championships. The Vic Metros, a couple of them, I think they can take great heart from the form of 2 of their bottom-age players. They went away with a young side, and Jack Billings and Ben Lennon, 2 of their 17-year-olds, had 20 marks between them. They kicked 5 goals between them as well, and you'll see them in the draft next year. So they were the 2 shining lights from the Vic Metros.
Thanks, Shifter. And Mick, you took a look at the second match where Queensland took on Western Australia.
Yeah, Jace, look, it was a thrilling game that went down to the wire. Queensland down by a point at three-quarter time. WA kicked the first 2 goals of the last quarter. 5 minutes ago, they looked on, the Queenslanders, but a fella by the name of Kane Tickner, number 25 for Queensland, Brisbane Lions Academy player, kicked a great goal through a snap with probably 4 or 5 minutes to go, and then followed up with a set shot which put the Queenslanders ahead by 2 points and got them over the line for their first win over WA in the history of their championship. And for WA, Jay, Shannon Taylor, a prolific ball winner through the midfield, 29 possessions, 9 marks and 6 inside 50s. Fantastic for the West Australians, just his clean hands and his ability to step through traffic really stood out. Great to see Shannon playing that type of footy. He was in our top competitors as a 17-year-old at last year's National Combine. Certainly be one to watch for WA through the championships.
Certainly a massive result. And Shifter, the third game, New South Wales ACT took on Vic Country, and another boilo was nearly on the card.
Yes, the New South Wales ACT Rams jumped the Vics and got a couple of goals up. Jason Saddington in charge, the former Swan. He had some support behind him too. Big Brad Ottens in the box, and Ty Kennelly as the runner. So there's plenty of experience around. But look, the Vics come back at them, and was pretty tight at half-time, just a couple of points between them. And then the rain come, we had the lights on, the whole works. It was a pretty dogged affair, but a very spirited Rams went down just by the 9 points in what would have been the 3rd boil-over of the championships to date. Look, the star for the Vics, no doubt, was Matthew Crouch, his brother to Brad, who was taken last year in the mini draft. This youngster is a ball magnet. He just won so much of the contested footy. He's a left footer. He even pushed forward and kicked a couple of vital goals, and so he's one to watch. A boy from the North Ballarat Rebels. It was the star. He had plenty of support. A couple of boys from Gippsland Power in Ben Kearns and Nick Graham. Won so much contested footy through the middle of the ground. They provided many opportunities for their forwards as well in what were tough conditions. I think the star for the Rams was no doubt their small defender come forward, a fella called Lonnie Hampton. Played for 3 quarters down in the back half, and some of his lightning runs from defence were spectacular. Then he pushed forward and kicked a couple of goals that really gave them the chance to snatch an unlikely victory. So a wonderful game to top off the double-header up there in Blacktown in Sydney.
And Mick, the final game of the first round, Tasmania hosted South Australia.
Yeah, absolutely, Jay. So rampant South Australia just showcased its pure class and ability against the Division 2 Tasmanians down there. Slammed through 8 goals straight in the first quarter on its way to an emphatic 144-point win. Troy Menzel was in brilliant form, kicked 9 goals won for the South Australians and came off early in the last quarter. 73 inside 50s for the South Australians and 30 of them resulting in majors, so a very, very impressive performance. Some of the better players, Jace, Jimmy Tumpus, number 2, the captain, 35 disposals, 10 marks and 10 inside 50s. Just a phenomenal hard-running player, brilliant class. You can see his experience at senior levels really come to the fore. Ben Kennedy, another pocket dynamo for the South Australians, 36 possessions, 7 clearances and 4 goals. And the excitement machine for me, the one that really caught the attention, was number 24, Tim O'Brien. A fantastic mark, contested mark where he rose above the pack in the first minute of the game. Certainly looks one to watch. Finished with 6 goals. Keep an eye on him as the championships go through.
And the Tassie boys certainly had the job ahead of them there. Did anyone manage to shine on the day?
Yeah, absolutely, Jace. Look, they were outclassed, unfortunately, but Caelan Jeffrey was a shining light for him, number 20 for the Tasmanians. 28 disposals, 7 marks. 6 inside 50s and 8 rebound 50s. Very well-rounded game from him. As well as a 201 centimetre key forward, Bo Webster. He showed some very, very exciting moments in the game, including a quality mark in the last quarter where, again, he came from behind and rose above a couple of other players. Certainly looks one at that size that we can watch going forward.
Well, thanks, Mick. Thanks, Shifter, and thank you, boys. We'll join us here next week for the afl.com.au wrap of the second round of the NAB AFL Under-18 Championships.